Good morning, everybody. It's Monday morning at 6:30. Welcome to Facebook Live Transform Your Business episode 11, which is all about storytelling and your brand. Yes, that thing that we tend to miss, and actually it can be a real culprit for messing things up in your business. Not just for your customers, but also for your staff and the people working with you. So we're going to look at both those aspects today. Now, your product has to be brilliant, has to be excellent, in fact. You know, in the olden days, you could get away with a mediocre product and some great service. You'd get away with that. But today, no, you can't. You've got to have a great product to start with, and you've got to have excellent service. Just mediocre service today kills your business. But we know that. But what's that got to do with storytelling? Well, storytelling is, if you like, the bit that really tells the customer and your staff a lot about your business. How you, I realised I've got the picture behind me today. Sorry, normally take that down. Telling you how your business is received by your customer and also your staff. So if you're here today, I'd like you to just put a like, tell me a comment, tell me where you're listening from. That'd be great to see. So here's the thing. If you want your business to be perfectly running, there are lots of things you need to be doing. And we've been talking over the past 10 episodes, we're on episode 11 already, all about the things that build up the foundations of your business, that build this business environment. And storytelling and being able to tell a really good story is a vital part of that because it starts to bring it together. Storytelling from a customer's perspective is actually the core to your marketing. Being able to put that story together, be able to connect your personal story with your customer's story and bridging it to your other products and services is absolutely vital. Good morning, Amy. Lovely to see you here watching today. Hope your event goes well this evening. So if you get the story part right, then your customers can engage with your product really quickly. But also, if you're getting your story about your business right, your staff, your employees, people working with you can also understand how your business is running and they can be in part of that story. Because your story of your business and how it's told is a critical factor for forming this business environment that I've been talking about for the last 10 episodes. Your environment is absolutely vital for your business because it has two important roles, and people really need to understand both roles, because it's not just the positive role of environment, which is supporting the things that you want to have happen. It's the powerful bit of the environment that suppresses the things that you don't want to have happening in your business. And if you've heard my story about cancer, about Patrick Holford telling me about how cancer today is considered an environmental disease and not just a genetic disease, then you start to understand this role of environment. It's there to support the good ideas, the good behaviour, but it's there to suppress the bad ideas and the bad behaviour. And your story, how you tell your story, really encompasses all of the things we've been talking about for the last 10 weeks. Because it's actually bringing together that in a way that your customer and your employees can understand how your business operates. The story you tell is the most important thing. And here's an interesting statement. The story you have, consider this about yourself for a second. The story you have about your identity is a much stronger factor in your decision making than the potential consequences of your decisions. How do you get to that point? So if you're telling yourself a story about yourself, then that is actually going to change how you decide to do things, your decision process. You may worry about the consequences, and that has an effect as well. You know, the fear factor comes in, false evidence appearing real. Yeah, fine. What could happen next may influence your decision. But the story you have about yourself is the most powerful thing to influence your decision-making process. And that's true for your customers as well. And your story is really projecting who you are being, who you're being in the world, the potential that you could be in the world, and what you stand for. And if you tell it well, it attracts people. And if you tell your story badly, it repels people, it pushes them away from you. You know, none of us want to be around old misery guts. None of us want to be around the person who's telling us all their woes and doubts and worries. We want to be around the person that's positive, that stands for something, that has a place in the world, that's sure of themselves, that has that confidence, that certainty and clarity about what they're doing. We want to be associated with them. We don't want to be associated with a person that's all, I don't know what I'm going to do tomorrow type attitude. How many businesses do you know that you look at and they look all down in the dumps already? The story is about the problems they've got. I can't get customers, I can't get staff, I can't get this, I can't get that. All the negative. How do you feel about that business? Horrible. How do your staff feel if they hear you talking about that business? Horrible. But if people are talking about their business, about where it's going, about what it's doing, about its purpose, its vision, and they tell that story powerfully, then people go, wow, that's a nice place to be. That's a nice part, something to be associated with. So it really attracts people in that way. Now this leads on to this wonderful thing called brand. Now I have a very clear definition of brand, which I find really helpful because it just encapsulates what I'm talking about today. Your brand is everything that influences the relationship between your consumer, the person who's buying your products and services, and your products and services. Now, it also is everything that influences the relationship between your employees, your co-workers, your colleagues, and their engagement and your purpose and that in your purpose and values of your own business. So from a marketing perspective, brand is outside affecting the relationship of your consumers with your products and services, and internally it's affecting the engagement in your vision and values and your purpose for your staff, your employees, or your colleagues. Good morning, Graham. Good to see you too as well. Now, the thing is this: if you've been working through episode 1 to 10 and you've done all the work, and you've put together your purpose, your vision, your values, you've thought about the customer journey, you've thought about what you're trying to achieve, the wants and needs, all of that stuff, then you have almost now put together all of the foundations you need to create your business environment. Because you can create an environment that says, this is what I'm doing, this is why I'm doing it, this is who I'm doing it for, your customer avatar piece, which I hope you've all done with great depth. And now it's about how do you bring that together so that you are able to tell that story so positively that this is what your business is about. I am doing this, I'm going here, and this is what the journey I'm on. Do you want to be part of that? Now that's to a customer or to a member of staff. Now if you're working for yourself or you're employing somebody or engaging with people, showing them the direction you're passing or traveling in, then you are doing leading. Now you may lead one, yourself, or many, a group. It doesn't matter, but that's what you're doing, you're leading. And your environment must now nurture, inspire, and challenge and empower the successful and positive behaviour you want, and at the same time suppress the negative and damaging behaviour. So that's what we've been working towards all this year, is getting to a point where you have all the elements, the foundations of that environment, so you can really start to identify the things you don't want to have happening and identify the things you do want to have happening, because you're clear about where you're going with your business. Now, so many business owners I speak to, especially in the startup phase, get all excited about something, get really going, and somewhere down the track they start to lose track of what they're doing this for. And the reason that happens is they don't have clarity about their business direction and the environment that's going to get them there. And if you have that doubt, then you're into the opportunity of self-sabotage, not because you're trying to hurt your business, it's just because you lose focus, you don't know where you're going. And that's why self-leadership is so important. It's a daily choice. You know, you have to have some real focus of getting up. That's the reason we start these things at 6:30 in the morning on a Monday, to give you that Monday morning kickstart, that Monday morning daily focus. Yes, I'm up on Monday morning to transform my business and start my week off in the right way. So it's a daily choice to do what needs to be done, to do the right thing for the business. Not the right thing for you, the right thing for the business. And sometimes the right thing is not easy. Sometimes the right thing actually is going to be very challenging. But that's the whole point. You've got to be able to challenge yourself and those around you to move forward. And the story you have about yourself, the story you have about your team, your business, is vital. Okay? It's personal, it's about you, but it's got to connect you with the people around you. You with your team, you with your customers. They've got to connect with you because you are actually part of the whole game. Now, if you get the environment right, you can absolutely lead anyone to thrive because you have got them in a place where you can identify the things that are going to help support them. go back to Brian Mayne's stuff. If you did the Brian Mayne goal setting, which we introduced you to in, I think it's episode 2, and you had a link to go and do his free goal mapping process, which is a fantastic thing. I have it on my desk, I have it on my computer, I have it on my phone, right? I look at it every single day. It's part of my daily routine. So in my environment, Brian Mayne's goal map sits as something that focuses my mind on what it is I'm trying to achieve. I'm now working with some guys from America called Traffic and Funnels to focus on my offer and my message and all that stuff, continually growing my business. But it has to be consistent, and you have to be persistent at doing it. It's not something you just dip in and out of. You have to get a consistency. Now, consistency doesn't have to be running as fast as you possibly can. I have another phrase which I like to have running in the back of my mind, which is travel as slowly as you can to get the job done. Because sometimes we rush and we miss stuff. But if you're traveling as slowly as you can to get the job done, which by the way sometimes may mean you are running flat out to get the job done, which happens, but hey, it's business. But if you can take the necessary time to get the job done, sometimes you can do that slowly. And by doing it slowly, you're going to observe things. Wendy and I just started our new renovation product down the road, and we rushed a bit at the beginning because we needed to get a lot of things done. And in doing the rushing, we missed a couple of things. We've recovered it, it's fine. But sometimes rushing isn't the right thing. So going as slowly as you can to get the job done is a great place to start. But you've got to make that choice every day. This is what I'm going to do. This is the right thing I'm going to do to get me to the goal I'm going to. Now, the program that we've got here, Transform Your Business episodes, this is supported by a series of business breakthrough calls, because I know, and I have, as I said, I'm working with these guys in America called Traffic and Funnels. I know things that I need to help me go forward. I've got clients who I do accountability coaching for. So we have a 2-hour session once a month, then every week we sit down and we have a 30-minute call just to make sure we're focused on what we said we're going to do that month. And that's what people need. If you're working for yourself, you need to find somebody who can give you that support. And if you want me to do it, you can always get in touch and I can talk to you about that. But what I set up for this particular program is the 45-minute breakthrough calls. It's £45 for 45 minutes, £1 a minute, just to go through a challenge you're facing. Now, it's not to solve your whole business in 45 minutes, but if you've been going through the Transform Your Business series, then you've come across particular challenges. So when you get to one of those challenges, instead of sitting there and just trying to work on it on your own, the aim, the idea is you grab a call, you book a call. You can book as many of them as you want this year, okay? They're there for people on this program. So what you do is you go onto the line, you fill out some questions, you book the call, and you put it into the diary. We have a Zoom call, and in that 45 minutes we address the issue that you are facing at this time to take you through that to get the breakthrough. Now you can sit there and you can worry about something and you can stress over it, or you can take action. Because if you take action, you're going to get into motion. And if you get into motion, you're going to start moving things forward. So please, if you have got any of the issues that have come up in any of these series that you're stuck with, you're not getting through. I mean, if you haven't downloaded the workbooks that have been available every month and completed every one of them, why not? Because they are going to help you move forward. So you've got to be a bit tough on yourself. Put the environment around you that makes sure you are completing the necessary work to move forward. Because if you do that, your business is going to get much more momentum and you're going to get much more success. So if you're having a challenge, please book a breakthrough call. They're there for a particular reason. Now, next week, we're going to move on a little bit further. We're going to start talking about the path you take up. And this is a bit different to the customer journey, but it is the general path you've got your whole customers going from the person when they don't even know who you are to becoming a raving fan and understanding what you're going to do along that process. And then we're going to be looking a bit more into the whole leadership aspect for yourself and personal discipline, and looking on to how we manage our teams better and moving forward. I've done some interesting talks in the last couple of weeks. I had a talk up at Birkbeck College talking to mature students in their pioneer program who are starting businesses, and we talked about the role of leadership in building those foundations. I had a talk at the CIPD in Portsmouth on Wednesday last week, looking at, or Thursday last week, looking at this whole idea of managing multi-generational teams, because you know I'm talking to a particular company right now to start some work with them where their oldest employee is 73 years and their youngest is 16. So how do you manage and inspire and motivate a multi-generation team from 16 to 73? That's a big challenge. But if you address it through the idea of having a business environment where everyone can actually do their best, it's not a challenge, it's quite simple. It's hard work, but it's a simple process. And it means that all the managers in that environment, therefore, are able to motivate and inspire their teams because they understand how to nurture, challenge, inspire, and empower their people. So I would love you to join me on a breakthrough call. I'd love you to join me next week. I hope this has been useful. So if you just want to put a comment in now, what is it this morning you got that you're going to go away and do some work on? What's this morning's message that you've received? I'd like to know what that is. And if you've got any questions or comments about the program so far, about what you want it to be in it going forward, we're getting to a stage now where actually you can start to influence the direction of the program. So please, if there's an area of your business that you are challenged by, that you want us to address in these programs, please put them in the comments or send a comment into us, and then we can put that into the program for later in the series. Have a fantastic week. Crack on with that environment. Crack on with your storytelling. Do the workbook exercises. Make sure you know what you've done in there. There's a really good section here on the storytelling, which is all today's piece, and also there's a following piece on brand. So look at that, get into it, and I look forward to seeing you next week. Bye for now.